back. You're watching The Money Show on ET Now. The NPCI, led by UPI, has allowed auto pay even for your digital wallets. So your SIPs, EMIs, rent payments, electricity payments, all of those regular payments can now be fixed in your digital wallet as well. This is the latest feature, and to talk about that, talk about the security aspect as well of this, I have with me a very special guest joining in on the show. Remember that when it comes to UPI transactions, one has to be careful about how exactly the security aspect of it is set up. So I have with me on the show Praveena Rao, the COO of NPCI. Praveena, absolute pleasure having you with us today on the show. Many thanks for joining in. So will this be exactly like, the kind of standing instructions that we have for our bank where, every month or every quarter, or whatever frequency we've set instructions for, there are direct debits from our bank account? And how do you set up the auto pay facility?
So I think it's going to add a very high layer of convenience and comfort beyond whatever the current experience is. First, it can be set up as a auto pay either from the merchant interface. So, whichever is the service that one is taking on, the auto pay mandate can be set up there. Alternatively, it can be set up from any UPI app interface. So, it can be any bank app, or it can be any third-party app, depending on the user's choice and the UPI app that they use today. So that way it opens up a lot of flexibility in the front end that the user uses, depending on where they are deciding to take the service. So really at the point of purchase, at the point of decision to sign up for a particular service, or to take a loan or to buy something, the actual payment journey can also be completed. Today, such an experience is available only for one-time payment, right? So I buy something and I pay for it and I get that good or service. That same experience will now get translated into any sort of a auto pay, which means that I'm going to make a repeat purchase for that particular service or good that I have now decided to purchase.
What about alterations, modifications? How easily can that be done? And more importantly, cancellations. Because let's say if I've made an error in putting forward certain instructions, how soon can cancellations happen? Because I do not want the hassle of the debit happening and then me chasing after to sort of get that amount credited back into my digital wallet.
The exciting thing about UPI is it is an instant interface, right? So just like a payment happens instantaneously, the auto pay gets set up instantaneously. Similarly, any modification or cancellation also gets executed instantaneously. So there is no waiting time, there is no lag time, etc. It will happen immediately. The cancellation, however, there is always an obligation between the buyer and seller. This is only a payment mode. So if there are obligations behind a auto pay instruction that has been provided, those have to be kept in mind. But as you said, if it's an error that has taken place and that needs to be immediately rectified, it can be rectified using the same experience that they had while they set it up, and it will happen immediately.
Okay, well, very interesting indeed. Let's move on then from that aspect to the fact that if there are any striking differences between how your bank's auto debit facilities work versus the extra feature that UPI will give.
Even today, payments are available on the banking interface, and there would be some customers who still find that comfortable. They are already comfortable with the net banking channel or their particular banks, internet banking channels and so on. This just opens up many more ways in which it can be established. So like I said, so let's look at two kinds of users. So one user is somebody who's already very comfortable with the bank, internet banking interface that is available. And today they might have set up their utility payments, they might have set up their card payments, whatever it is. And they might still continue to use that interface. But the same customer, is, they're making a purchase, probably buying something on which an EMI is being offered. They are signing up for the EMI. And at that same point, they are able to confirm the establishment of the autopay mandate also. So they do not have to now go back to their internet banking, website or app and open it and redo a set of instructions, because with every incremental step that is there, there is always a fallout. So I might today think that tomorrow I will go and set up that mandate. I might forget it. Somebody will have to remind me after a month when the mandate is not established and so on. So this is one kind of user. The other kind of user is someone who today is not as comfortable with the sophistication needed or the awareness to actually use a bank, mobile banking or internet banking.
Okay. Well, what about, if there is any sort of a restriction, if any, of course, on maximum amount or minimum amount that has to be set for these auto debit transactions or on digital wallets?
So as per the guideline, 2,000 rupees is the maximum limit, up to which the repeat transactions will not require authentication. So once you set up the mandate with a UPI PIN, it does not have to be repeatedly put. You don't have to remember it. You don't have to, after 1 month when the mandate comes, open up your app and put the PIN again. That is for low value transactions less than 2,000. For transactions of values more than 2,000, autopay can still be set up. However, as a incremental control, the UPI PIN will be required every time the mandate has to be executed. So that's the control mechanism on the value side.
All right. Well, I just want to understand, that security aspect on that the NPCI offers, that UPI offers. If you could just, talk to our viewers about that, on the security bit, and sort of assure our viewers about, that the fact that their money is secure when they are using a UPI mobile app.
So I think first is the way the experience of setting up autopay works. As with any UPI experience, there are notifications that go to the customer. So when you're setting up a mandate, autopay mandate, you get a notification. But more importantly, 24 hours before a mandate is being executed subsequently, let's say, if you set up a weekly mandate, then week 2, week 3, week 4, every time that the payment is going to be deducted from your account, a notification is available. So just in case it was done erroneously, it was not to have been set up, etc., the user has a option and a chance to look at it and say, hey, I didn't set it up. Let me go figure out what this is. And they have 24 hours time to. As with any other banking transaction, I think all transactions today have notification alerts, and users, should use that control. It also gives them comfort that, okay, I scheduled this and it's happening on time. So it gives that sort of comfort of scheduled payments. At the same time, it also provides a security aspect. More importantly, it comes back to the basic, you don't share your ATM PIN, you don't share your UPI PIN. Do not share your UPI PIN ever with anyone. UPI PIN, including when you're setting up a mandate, will only be needed on your UPI app.
All right. Thank you so much then for joining in today and, sparing some time with our viewers, sharing, your tips on security as well for UPI. With that, we'll wrap it up on the show. Thank you for watching.